to Unified Love Couples Ministry with your host, Senior Pastor and Apostle Reese. Join us as we share biblical principles for successful relationships and marriage. And now, Senior Pastor Olden and Apostle LaShawn Reese.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Yes, we are live on tonight. As you can see, in different locations, but we're still unified.
Unified. That's right. That's right.
We see you, sis. Thank you so much for logging in on tonight.
Start sharing. Start sharing.
All right. All right. And we are live. So please make sure you let others know that we are here. Share the broadcast on tonight. We're going to talk about no breaks in relationship and in marriage. Pastor Reese is heading back home from an event, which is why we're not in the same location, but we had to make it work because we wanted to make sure that our broadcast will still go forth. So thank you so much for logging in on tonight.
Yeah.
And you know how we do it. We are transparent. If you have any questions, please make sure that you drop it in the chat and we will address your questions. So thank you for being here on tonight. And we wanted to talk about no breaks. When we think about and talk about breaks, it's because we know that marriage was designed by God. And being designed by God, like in the beginning, remember God created Eve so Adam wouldn't be alone, and he wanted to eliminate loneliness. So we know that marriage is a gift from God and it is beautiful. If you are not yet married and you're in a relationship or you're anticipating being married, it's important that we know the covenant that we are making and what we are agreeing to before marriage. We have to know that this is a lifetime commitment, even though many have made it so simple where, just get it annulled or just go file for divorce. But we know that God's intention was for marriage to be permanent, that we will find our soulmate, we will find the one that we will spend the rest of our life with as a lifetime partner. That's sharing, that's caring, that's loving, that's being committed and faithful to one another.
Yes.
And we know that we have to cherish the life that we have together. And we know that with marriage, it comes life's pleasure. There come children, there come responsibility. You grow together and years begin to, sometimes they fly by as days because now your life is so entwined with the one that you are with. So in making a marriage work, because we're talking about no breaks tonight, in making a marriage work, we have to first be willing to do all that we can for the one that we love. Sacrifice, be willing to, extend ourselves beyond what we're used to doing, because now it's not just us, but the one that God has connected us to.
Yeah.
So if you're not working on your relationship and not working on your marriage, there's no way to preserve that you once held so near and dear. So there's work. Work has to be done in order for a marriage to work.
And I want to say that, we always talk about this, about how as a couple, you have to learn how to work together. You got to learn how to go through the good times, the bad times. And together, then how are you going to make it work? So we got to push forward.
Mm-hmm.
And we gotta be more into knowing, hey, is my spouse okay? Are they going through something? Ask questions sometimes, because you just never know what they may be going through. You don't know what kind of, how they feeling. or what they're going through.
Yes.
So it's best
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, it's all right to ask your wife, hey, are you okay? How did work go today? It's all right to ask your husband. It's okay, honey. How did
Mm-hmm.
work go today? You all right? And you just never know what that person is going through. And you don't want to be an add-on to what they're already going through, but you want to be a helpmate and a problem solver. So whatever they're going
Yes,
through,
absolutely.
hear them out.
Mm-hmm.
Hear them out. Hear what they got to
Yeah,
say, and be willing to comfort them and listen to them and help them
because in do
through. Yeah,
no, no, go ahead.
go ahead. And help them through the situations because you just never know. But go ahead, babe.
That's it. We see you, Sharifa. Shaniva, thank you so much for joining on tonight. Yes, so we do the things that we have to do in order to prevent our relationship from breaking. And if we're not in a relationship yet, then guess what? Now's the time to prepare ourselves for the one that we are preparing for. So we're not waiting for someone to come to complete us. We want to already be ready and prepared. We see you, Anzelma. Thank you for joining. Yes, Shaniva, we miss you too, girl. It's been a long time. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as my husband was speaking about, we continue to check on one another. We continue to look out for each other. We continue to do these things because we want to prevent breakage. It's just like with our hair care. We do all the things to try to sealing our hair. We don't want it to break. We know that we shed hair every day. So we do all the preventive measures to make sure we don't lose unnecessary hair or unnecessary strands. So we put in the time to decondition the follicles and all this good massaging the scalp because we want a healthy scalp. So the time and dedication we put in, even in our personal care, we have to also put in our relationship. It's hard too when you've been single for so long and then have to adapt to someone that's coming in because you're used to giving yourself all of that personal time, attention, and care. But when there's someone else on the scene, you have to know that, hey, I can't be selfish anymore. I'm now connected to someone which God has made us one. So now that we are one, what can we do in order to prohibit breakage from occurring in our relationship?
And one thing I love about what you just said, babe, is this: that when people understand how a marriage works, you understand how to know your husband, know your wife, know what they're feeling, know what they're thinking, know by talking with them, by hearing each other out.
Yes.
And so many times, I mean, we have stressed this so much about communication, communication, communication,
Mm-hmm.
communication. And we always talk about how important it is to communicate. Because when
Yes.
you communicate in a marriage, there's no surprises. There's nobody getting surprised by something. You already know what the issue are. You already know because we talked about it. We discussed it. And um and because we discussed it, there's nothing that's jumping out at us
Mm-hmm.
you know, was a big surprise, and we looking like, what was that? You know?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so you already know what
Being
that person,
proactive.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Because
it.
why? You don't want a surprise. You don't want something popping out the blue and then, you know, you looking like, what happened? I thought we
Yes.
was
Yes.
okay. I thought everything was going good.
Mm-hmm.
So what
Mm-hmm.
happened? But you never know.
Yes.
So it's good to communicate so nobody won't be upset because you never know. You may come home or you may walk in the house and your spouse be upset with you and you don't even know why.
Right. And that's the break, because when there's
Mm-hmm.
no communication, there's a break.
There's a
When
break.
there's no one accordness, there's a break. So
Yep.
we've got to make sure that we do everything that will stop breakage, that will, because we see things and we know when there's a missing piece. We know when it's something that needs attention, because we've been in this with this person. And even if you're just dating someone, you're getting to know them. You're getting to know how they respond. You get to know how they react. You're getting to know them on a more personal level. So we are now um, aware of your surroundings, with this person
Right.
now being a part of your life.
Right.
So let's talk about the word break. God bless you. I see Aunt and Auntie is here. Thank you
Hey.
for joining, Carville. Look, I got to put this plug in because him and his wife is going to join us on one of our broadcasts this month.
Whoop
So y'all
whoop.
look for the, you're going to be with us. Yes. Uh, we're talking about no breaks. So I began to look up the word break. And when I tell you, there were 20 definitions plus for this word. We can't wait for you too, Shaniva. We're going to pray. God, send them, send them, send them.
Mm-hmm.
Break. So break means to separate into parts with suddenness or violence.
Mm-hmm.
Break means to cause to separate in two or more pieces. Remember, you were one. Now there's a break, and you're not seeing eye to eye. You're not on the same page. There's so many disagreements now. There's so many arguments now. Break means to cause an open wound. Baby, you can jump in anytime here.
All right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Break means break means to cut in two. Now look, this we're going deep now. To cut into an open wound. This is what break is. Look at that. Break is to render inoperable. So something was going so well, so good, and all of a sudden, there's no more love. There's no more compassion. There's no more, we don't want to work on it. We don't want to break, to disrupt the order of, because if we're not functioning as one, we are no longer a cohesive unit. So now we're all over the place. We're disarrayed. We're combative against each other. We're
Mm-hmm.
arguing. We're fussing. We're fighting. Break, to defeat utterly and end. How many times have you heard couples say that this is irreparable? We can't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's over. That's a break.
Well, I'm tired,
Break.
and
Yeah,
I'm tired of this.
tired.
I'm tired of arguing. I'm tired
Mhm.
of going through. I'm tired of this. But
Yes.
one thing I've learned, that through being with my wife and us being married, one thing I've learned that we have to respect one another. We
Yes.
got to be able to respect each other's feelings. We got to be able to
Mhm.
not just flip off at the mouth on each other,
Mhm.
not just saying stuff out of the blue to each other to hurt each other's feelings. But we
Yes.
need, if there's a problem, the biggest thing to do is sit down and just talk about it and get it out
Mhm.
in the open.
Absolutely.
And say, hey, this is what bothering me. This is
Mhm.
what I'm going through with you. This is how I'm
Yes.
feeling about you,
Mhm.
because I want to,
Mhm.
I want to know that you in it with me. Are you with
That's it.
me or are you
Mhm.
against me? Are you for
Yes.
me like I'm for you? Because I
Mhm.
want to be there to support you. So I need you to be there to support me. And that's
Yes.
that's the biggest thing,
Absolutely.
because we know that, as husband and wife, the Bible says bone on my bone, flesh on my flesh. We are
Yes.
connected as husband and
Mm-hmm.
wife as one. That means whatever your wife is striving for, you got to be there for her. Whatever your husband is striving for, you have to be there for
Yes.
them. And you have to help
Yes.
push them to where they need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be a hater. Don't get mad. Oh, he ain't paying no attention to me. Be a part of what he's trying to do. Be a part of what
Yes.
she's trying to do, because it's all only thing is gonna better is your finances, your marriage,
Mhm.
whatever it is.
Yes.
It's gonna take your marriage to another level. It's gonna take you to
Yes.
another level. Can we just be transparent for a moment and
Mm-hmm.
understand
Go
that
ahead.
when we are together, you I'm talking about married couples. I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
in relationship. You're in a relationship and you're getting ready to get married to somebody. You want to know, that woman wants to know, that man wants to know, are you committed to me?
Mm-hmm.
Is there gonna be a commitment to me? Whether I mess up, whether I make it big, whether whatever happens, I want to know if you're gonna be there during the good times and bad. You know,
Yes.
if it get hard, I want to know if you're gonna be there. I want to
Mm-hmm.
know if you're gonna stick with me. And you've seen
Mm-hmm.
so many men and women walk out on a relationship because that person promised them all this stuff and now they can't deliver. There is the
Absolutely.
break.
Mm-hmm.
There is the break. Well, you said you promised that you was gonna give this, and things may not work out how he or she wanted it to.
That's plan. That's right.
Things may
That's right.
not have gone like you wanted to go.
Yes.
Or you
Yes.
thought what he was saying was gonna work and it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now since it didn't work, now you got to go to plan B. Now you got to come up with
Mm-hmm.
something else different that you know. One thing I love about, and I don't know about anybody else's marriage, but I know one thing I love about my marriage with my wife is, even though when I made mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
never put me down and said, I told you this or I told you that. And that's the worst feeling of somebody's, heart, you as a wife or you as a husband saying, I told you, and
Mm-hmm.
you still did it. And and look, it didn't work out. Now look what you caused, you know.
Right.
But when you get that encouragement, say, honey, okay, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right. People, we make mistakes. We
Yes.
don't get everything right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we're going to do now to better ourselves. What we're going to do now, since we lost in that, what can we follow now to make this better, to make this
Yes.
greater? Find solutions for your problems.
Mm-hmm.
Don't add on to the problem, because adding on is going to make it worse.
Yes.
Then you're going to have bitter people. You're going to have bitter marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have
Yes.
separation. You're going to
Yes.
have husband and wife going to other people,
Mm-hmm.
asking for advice.
Yes.
Never want to get counseling, but hey, I can go to somebody else. And the person they always go to is somebody who ain't even married. Or they don't have nobody. But they
Uh-huh.
the expert that you go to.
Well, their relationship jacked
Yeah,
up.
or their relationship is all messed up, but they're trying to tell you about yours.
Right.
Be transparent for a moment. Again, think
Mm-hmm.
about this. Why would I go to somebody in worse shape than me?
Good question.
Why would I go talk to somebody and they already done got a divorce? They can't help me. They can't help your relationship. Women, stop going to those women that ain't got no man. You know how they told Tommy he ain't got no job? You ain't got no man. But you trying to tell me about my relationship with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
If I was you, girl, I'd leave him.
Well,
And you know the guys ain't no better either. Sometimes, come on, man, you gonna take that? You gonna let her do that to you? If I was married to her, she wouldn't be doing that to me.
come
Well, the
on.
devil is a liar. You ain't married to her. I am. So
Mm-hmm.
the best person to go to is the person that you having the issue with, which is your
Yes.
wife, which is your
That's it.
husband. Stop talking to
That's it.
other people
Mm-hmm.
that wanna see your marriage fail anyway because they ain't never had a good marriage.
Come on.
So they rather see yours fail
Mm-hmm.
than yours grow to something better. Because why? Now they all alone in that island all by themselves
Yes.
and have
Yes.
nobody
Mm-hmm.
in their life. But they're expert in yours though. How many people on here right now? Just give me a thumbs up or thumb. How many people got those experts? Huh? Anybody got them experts that can tell you everything about? Oh, you should do this and you should do that. And the girl and man, I wouldn't know. Come on, you don't know what my wife is thinking. You don't know what my husband is thinking.
Yes, absolutely. All
People,
right, I see some
hey,
thumbs up.
hey, this is why I want to say this, baby. Then I'm gonna let you go ahead. But hurt people get advice from hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that
Say it
right?
again. Say it
Hurt
again.
people get
Mm-hmm.
advice from hurt people. Hurt
Yes.
people get advice from somebody else who have a bad marriage.
Mm-hmm.
How are they gonna help you when their marriage is all messed up and jacked up?
And they're not even willing to work on it to get it any better.
But you gonna listen to them? You might well just if you gonna listen to them, if you gonna listen to somebody who ain't, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I heard this man say one time, if you want to be rich, hang around rich people.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging around poor people, you're not gonna be rich.
That's right.
So hang around people you know have great marriages. They might go
Mm-hmm.
through something, but they know how to work it out. They know how to stick together. They know no matter what they're going through, hey, we gonna make it work. We're not gonna give up on each other. I'm not gonna give up on
Mm-hmm.
you. You're not gonna give up on me. But
Yeah,
we gonna make it together, no matter what.
that's
If we gonna have
that's
to lose everything and sleep in a cardboard box, that's what we got to do so we
come
can get back
on.
on our feet.
Mm-hmm.
See, people have lost that way of, hey, if that person go down, oh, I'm leaving. He ain't got no income. Oh no, I can't be with no man like that. I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
women too. You know, she making good money, she doing good, and all of a sudden she lose her job. Oh, nah, I gotta
Mm-hmm.
take care of you. Come on now, that's your
Yes,
wife.
absolutely. That's
Honey,
it.
I'm here for you. I'm sticking by you
Mm-hmm.
no matter
That's
what.
it.
Until you can get back on
Mhm.
your feet and get another job, then I got to pick up the slack a little bit.
Look at that. That's it.
Somebody got to be able to say, either one,
Mm-hmm.
I messed up. Now, what you going to do to help me? Because
Mm-hmm.
when you messed up, I was there for you. So I need the
Yes.
same. I need you there for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
a lot of times, the first thing they do is go back to hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what you think what you think I should do? Girl, what you think I should do about that? How are they going to help you?
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to help you when they're hurting themselves? And do you know those
Yeah.
hurt people a lot of times rather see you without anybody because they're miserable? So they want
So
you to
y'all
be
can be
miserable
miserable
together.
together. That's right. That's right. That's right. Miserable together.
I rest my case.
Well, that's a very solid case, sir. And if you, God forbid, if you're not even married yet, I see some singles on the broadcast tonight.
Hmm.
You know the warning signs to watch for, because if you're not communicating now, imagine. And a lot of, we have this fantasy that, oh, once we get married, things will get better, things will change. No, the same baggage you bring into marriage is the same one that's going to still be there when you open that front door. So it's so important that before even considering marriage, you're in a relationship, you're seeing someone, you're not speaking of marriage right now, um, and you have issues. Those issues need to be dealt with. They need to be handled, because how you're responding now, how they're responding now, is how they'll respond later. So start working on your issues now. Let's sit down, let's talk, let's communicate. I saw an article on marriage.com. And when I saw the article, it was talking about the reasons why marriages fall apart. And when I tell you, it's so many of the things that we always discuss on our broadcast. And what their number one thing is, the same thing we always talk about: lack of communication. There's a communication gap. So when we stop sharing and stop expressing ourselves, then we lose connection. We lose connection. And if we lose connection, guess what? We've lost strength.
Mm. And babe, when you said that earlier about, you know, people talking to one another, or
Mhm.
if you listen, I'm gonna give um some people that not in relationships, and you already in one, and there are red flag signs that you need to recognize. And
Mhm.
one, first of all, if that person is not saved, if that person don't know Jesus Christ for himself, that's a problem. That's
Mhm.
already a problem. So
Yes.
if that person is not willing to learn and find Jesus for themselves, you already starting the relationship off messed up, because that
Mhm.
person don't know God like you.
Right.
That person,
And may not even want to know
right,
God
and
at
may not want
all.
to know God at all, and don't want to even have a relationship with him.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
don't just go with looks. Don't just go with, he looks so good and all that, but in a, God ain't even in him.
Mm.
He don't have God a part of his life. So
Yes.
how are you going to be with a godly woman
Hmm.
if you don't even know God?
That's it.
And how you going to be with a godly man if you don't know God? And I know sometimes it's hard because you see a good looking woman and, oh man, you've been single for a long time. Sometimes it's still good to wait. Make sure
Hmm.
that's the right woman for you.
Yes.
You don't want nobody who you with just because they look good, because the good look one a lot of time leave you high and dry.
That's it.
Get somebody that's saved and look good. Get somebody
Mhm.
that's saved and know what they're talking about, and know that, hey, no matter what we going through, I'm here
Mhm.
for you. I'm gonna stick with
Yes.
you. And
Yes.
I like that, because there's something you said earlier, babe, about how people don't wanna face issues. The first thing we do is run and I want a divorce, or
Hmm.
run and break up. Right there, that's a red flag, because you don't. How you gonna handle it when we get married?
Right.
You gonna always run
Right.
away? You go, oh,
Hmm.
there's no running. There's no
Yes.
hiding. There's no, I don't want to talk
Hmm.
about it. There's none
Hmm.
of those things. Don't break the pattern of your marriage. Don't break the pattern of the relationship. If you can start facing those issues now when you're single with a person and y'all thinking about getting married, you can handle them when you get married. Because why? Y'all been battle tested.
Yes. Yes.
If y'all in a
And
relationship and nobody don't want to
that's
talk about nothing, nobody don't want
mhm.
to say nothing, that's what's gonna be when you get married. Nobody ain't gonna
Yeah.
talk. Nobody ain't gonna say nothing. Every time something a problem come up, ain't no discussion
Mm-hmm.
because y'all came into the relationship like that.
Yes.
Y'all came into the marriage like that,
Mm-hmm.
not even understanding where you don't even know that. By the time you done married them, everything you don't even know the person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't know you brush your teeth like that. I didn't know you eat like that. I didn't know you drink like that. You drink some water, and now that aggravates her. Or you eat a certain way, why you gotta eat like that? Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to know each other. Learn everything you can. I ain't say shack up. Y'all ain't hear me say that. I said learn about each other. Learn what each
Yes.
other like. Learn what you don't like about them too.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's gonna indicate how that marriage is gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just veer on to, oh, everything is good, everything is great, blah, 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 blah. And then when you get into marriage, now all the other things you saw it before you got married, but you were just thinking about, oh, I want to be married.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
hmm Somebody right
But
now
it's
quiet. They saying,
important.
oops, oh,
That's
uh-oh.
it. That's
Yeah,
it. Mm-hmm.
somebody quiet right now because a lot of times we run into things and
Mm-hmm.
then when it don't work, we ready to run out.
Yes. And
We
don't
ready
even
to
try
give
to do
up.
anything to fix it.
No, I'm out of here. I ain't got time for all that. I'm out of here. Then why did you get married?
Mm-hmm. Or we quick to say, well, you can leave.
Then you wasn't ready to get married. When you already married and that's the first thing come out your mouth
Mm-hmm.
is you can leave or I want a divorce or you can get out or all that stuff. You didn't want to be married. You
Mm-hmm.
just had the assumption of, there's some people, baby, they have the assumption of marriage. They just like being, getting married.
The concept.
They're the
Yes,
concept of
yes,
it. Oh,
yes.
so it's a fairy tale. He gonna come riding in on a white horse, and oh, everything gonna be peachy.
Uh-huh.
Everything
Sweet
gonna be
smelling of
good.
misery.
Well, I know we were arguing before that, but today is our wedding day,
Yes.
and everything is great on this day. But give that a couple of months.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's so important to have a strong foundation
That's it.
and
That's it.
know who you are becoming in covenant with. Covenant, commitment, who you're going to commit
Commitment.
to the rest of your life. So don't go in thinking that, oh, there's this, can be temporary. But no, this is who I want to spend the rest of my life with. This is a lifetime commitment, a covenant that I'm making before God. And the scripture says better not to make a vow than to make it and don't keep it. So
Exactly.
I don't want to break covenant. I don't want to break covenant. A covenant is a binding agreement. And when we're bound to something, guess what? We're obligated. It ain't no easy way out. It ain't no scapegoat. It ain't no, oh, I'm just going to put my toe in and see what happened and what's going. No, no. This is covenant. This is now God say you become one,
That's it.
no longer two.
And you
Yeah.
know what, I want to add on something to what you just said. It's that covenant of you're no longer one, but you're two now.
Mm-hmm.
And some people lose the concept of that to say, well, and when things going good, oh, we husband, that's my wifey, that's my hubby, and all that lingo that they use. But let stuff start going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Let stuff don't go the way. Let stuff start falling apart and going south. instead of
Yes.
north like you wanted it to. Now all of
Mhm.
a sudden you got that person and you quick to abandon your wifey. You quick to
Yes.
abandon your hubby.
Hmm.
So it's best to know that now before you get in that, get there to that point to say I do. Listen, what
Yes.
and the questions that I think we had did that one time when we talked about the questions to ask,
Yes.
with
Before.
before marriage. Even though if y'all
Mhm.
been dating for a while, it's good to ask those questions.
Mhm.
What is your goal for us being married?
Yes.
Ask that man that. Honey, what is your goal for you being my wife?
Hmm.
How are we gonna coexist as husband and wife? What about
Yes.
our good times? That's great, but what about our hard times, our bad times? Are you gonna abandon me? Are you gonna walk out on me? Or are you gonna be there praying with me?
Yes. That's if you have a praying man or woman.
That's what I'm saying. So if you don't have a praying man and a woman, woe unto you. I feel bad for you.
That's it.
If you have a
And
man
even
can't
with
even recognize the enemy,
women,
in that
come
trip, you have a
on.
person that you have a man. He's the head of your house, and he don't even recognize the enemy. He don't even pray. He don't even.
And how are you
Hmm,
going to even submit to someone that has no relationship with God?
my God, think about that before you jump into it. Ask those
Yes.
questions.
Because the breakage, yeah, that's because already there's a break in it, and you're not even joined together in holy
But
matrimony.
the thing is,
So the break has to be
But the
fixed.
thing is, man, a lot of
Hmm.
people too busy looking at how good he looked. Oh, he smells so
Hmm.
good. Oh, he did go to church with me, even though he ain't saved.
Or they might get saved because you go to church.
Lord, if I hear that one more time, I'm gonna just scream. He come to church with you. Oh, look how he praised the
Mhm.
Lord, and he ain't work. He
Yeah.
ain't even saved yet. Well, I did get
My
him to go to
God.
church, and look, he went, and
Mhm.
he said he loved the service, but did he get his life right with God?
Did he get delivered?
Did he get delivered? Did he get set free?
Yes.
Did he get saved? Did he even hear the word? I bet you asked him what the word was, he probably couldn't even tell you.
My God. My
So
God.
you women, uh,
Hmm.
women gotta understand who are dating someone. Ask those tough questions. Men, ask those tough questions because you want somebody that you know gonna stick by your side. One thing I loved about my wife is when we were dating, she was tough on me, and she asked those very tough questions, and I had to sit there and I had to answer them. I had to have an answer for them. Why? Because it was only fitting. And I respected that. I'm gonna tell you, I really respected her asking me, and I asked my questions too. So don't get it
Hmm.
wrong. Don't get it bent. We asked each other questions. We talked about it. We talked about us getting married. We talked about us, as husband and wife. We talked about how we gonna handle our marriage, how we gonna talk together, how we gonna act with each other. I mean, everything to a point. We've been doing it for 14 years now, and it's been working because you know why? We don't have no secrets. I'm not
Hmm.
hiding anything. She not hiding anything. I ain't got no secret bank account. She ain't got no secret bank account. We
Hmm.
I, we don't have all that drama stuff going on like I see in Christian marriages because I see some good ones, but I also see the ones that are jacked up. And
I,
that's what
I
I'm saying is, yeah, that's what I'm saying is that's where people marry other people who are not trustworthy, and they don't see it because they're too busy looking at how good she looks or how good he looks. oh, they did go to church with me. So you're looking at something that's disguising to be good,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't know until you say I do. Then you find out later, wait a minute, he ain't the same. That's not the same person.
Mm-hmm. The master
Why he act?
came.
Why he looking like that? Why she acting like that? What's going
Mhm.
on? Go ahead, Bill. I know I've jumped in a lot, but go ahead.
Question: what if they? No, no. There's a question. What and don't have a relationship with God? The question is, what if they both don't have one? Again, are you asking if they both don't have a relationship with God? And then we can answer the question for you. Okay, so let's assume that's it. I don't see your response yet. If neither one of the persons have a relationship with God, then there will not be a strong foundation.
Yeah.
Um, if we don't have a relationship with God, that means we're going to respond how we would normally respond, and that's responding of the world, like the world. Like if we're not delivered, if we're not set free, we're going to argue, we're going to fight, we're going to tit for tat. There's not going to be the love of God there, the love of God that would forgive. Love of our you to pray to fasting to go before God together because you have that relationship. So if you have a relationship with God, then it'll be like how we were in the world. Anything goes.
Right.
Communication, not respecting one another, not being kind to one another, not being, when we have God, there's structure in our life to say, hey, I'm going to treat that person how I want to be treated. I'm going to show the love of God because the scriptures say, how can I love God whom I've never seen, but I hate my own brother? So guess what? If I don't have that foundation, I'm going to be bitter. I'm going to hate that person. I'm going to despise them. I'm not going to wish any good on them. And they could be my spouse. But if I have a foundation that's built on God, and if they don't have a foundation, one may be introduced to it and the other one may be drawn in. So what the Bible said that a saint there where God can bring them together as learn together and grow together in God. So when one gets saved, the other could get saved and they grow strong. And
Right.
sometimes the one won't accept the other one being saved. Look, I ain't marry you like that. What is this God? What are you talking about? No, I'm not going to church. No, I'm not. So then that's another whole level of warfare that the person that is.
Mm-hmm. And there is one thing that I seen. Man, after we've been married for so long, I know a lot of times people, we've been asked this, I mean, what makes it work? How do you guys, and people don't believe this about me and you, babe, and we've been married 14 years. And I can say it straight up and say that we don't have arguments. Yeah, and me and my wife, we made sure of that when we got married, that we'll never disrespect one another. We don't have arguments. We call them discussions. And when we have those discussions, a lot of times there ain't no yelling, there ain't no screaming, there ain't no fighting, there ain't no hurting each other. It's just we're talking things out. We're working things out. Do we always agree? No, we don't. But we have this saying, me and my wife, we agree to disagree.
Yes. And that's looking at things that didn't work for you before. So if it was in a past relationship where there was always arguing, always fussing, you don't want to go into the new with the same thing. So what you do, you make a commitment, you make a vow to each other. Look, we ain't going to bed angry. Whatever we have to do, we're gonna talk. We ain't gonna sleep anyway, man. But we gonna be laying in the bed, huffing and puffing all night and not resolving. Important to make commitments to what you want to do or how you want your relationship to be. And maybe you haven't done that yet. Maybe you haven't taken the time yet to sit with the one that you're in a relationship with and say, hey, some rules. There's nothing wrong with that, because we know what didn't work for us before. And if that didn't work for me before, I don't want to even try to venture into that again. Let's make some rules. Okay. We're not going to raise our voice to each other. We're going to make sure that we keep our connection. We're going to make sure that we always communicate. And there's nothing wrong with establishing rules. I want to put a plug here. This is our book on Amazon, 21 Days to Success Communication Builder for Couples. In this book, workbook, now you only need one book per couple. And in this workbook, we have plans where you sit down with the one that you're with and you talk about what it is that you feel like needs to be corrected, what it is that you feel like, you need to correct within yourself. And this is a daily journey you're doing together for 21 days. You're identifying action plan, because it's one thing to identify it, but what are we going to do to rectify the problem? What are we going to do to bring about a solution? So it's one thing to identify what's wrong, but then now let's see what we can do to get this to work, to get this right, to get this, we have to do that. So in doing that, we make sure that, hey, there's a breakage. There's something that's wrong. There's something that needs to be fixed. Identify it. And then don't just identify it in that person. You've got to identify it in yourself as well, and be willing to say, okay, I hear you when they, we can all day spill out what it is that we think wrong. But the minute they tell us what they think wrong, we get mad, we get offended. Oh, we don't want to talk no more. We want to, that's wrong with me. Now tell me everything, have my turn with you. And we have to be okay with that, because we could be doing things that we did not even know was offensive. We could be doing things that we did not even know that hurt their feelings, or we could be doing things that we didn't know that, that they were comfortable with. But when we take the time to communicate, we take the time to get on the same page, when we take the time to learn one another, yes, learn one another and say, wait a minute, this is what I think we need to do in order for this to work. This is what I think we should do in order to have a successful relationship. I've been down that road before. I've done this before. And no, I refuse to have it follow me in this relationship. And we've got to set boundaries. Do it early. Or as soon as something happened that we're not happy with, then we need to set the boundaries. We need to identify what it is that is lacking in our relationship, because there's a break. There's something that's disrupting the order and the flow and the operation of the relationship. So what do I have to do? Fix the problem. What is it? Fine. Okay, we disconnected. We're not communicating. What we need to do to communicate? What do we need to do to connect again? Need to start doing together now. We need to do that. Do that.
That's right. That's right.
And be successful.
I just thank God because babe, you have said some. You have to connect. You have to find a way to connect to each other. And one thing, it's bad for relationships that people a lot of time don't recognize when the enemy is working and warring to try to destroy your marriage. Um, he know marriage is sacred to God. He know that's something that God really honors when a man and a
Mhm.
woman is married. So he tries everything he could to destroy. If I can get that man out of the way, and if that wife is
Yeah.
and that wife is doing everything, then I'll be able to get to the kids. Then I'll be able to, introduce her to somebody that not like her husband, probably worse. So there's
Mhm.
always the devil always have a plan that he tries to do after a marriage. So he don't want you to go back to your husband. He don't want you to go back to your wife. He don't want you to get it right with them. And we got to realize in our own mind and say, you know what? I recognize who the enemy is. I recognize what he's trying to do. How can we handle these situations? Because a lot of times
Yes.
the devil working in ways on people's mindset. So if he can get you in a prideful state, then you ain't gonna want to talk to your
Mhm.
husband. You ain't gonna want to talk to your wife. You ain't gonna want to talk to no counselor. You don't want to, I don't want to work it out. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Why have to do all that? Because why?
Mhm. That's
Now the mindset is I don't want to work on this no more. The
mhm.
mindset is, hey, you told me how you felt. I don't want to answer no questions. Let's you go your way and I go my way. But that's not how you solve the issue. That's not how you
Yes.
solve the problem. You are both
Mhm.
adults. You are both a man and a woman. You are both in a relationship. And if you and I'm talking to ones that could be in a relationship now with somebody and that
Mhm.
y'all argue and y'all fuss and y'all go through stuff. How and then later on you want to go and jump into a marriage. Nothing, and I want to make this a statement to everybody that those that are not married and going through situations with the one that they say they're getting ready to get married to, you're not going to solve the issue by getting married. Just simple as that. You're not going to solve the problem by saying I do. And a lot of
Mhm.
people, a lot of marriages, well, people getting married think,
Mhm.
well, once we get married, everything gonna change. And then what after you married, things still ain't changed. Now, well,
That's
maybe
it.
if we have a child, everything will change. It still ain't changed.
Mm-mm.
And then when y'all do confrontate with each other, get in a confrontation with each other, the first thing that person gonna say is, well, you married me just like this.
That's
Ain't
it.
nothing changed.
You knew how it was before we got married.
Thank you. You knew the kind of person I was before we said I do.
Mhm.
So right there, that's your answer. If you in a relationship with somebody, I ain't telling you to break up and all that stuff, but I want you to look at the signs. I want you to recognize if this person is not ready to commit to you and you are
Mhm.
not ready to commit to them, it won't work. I don't care if you saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. Pray, fast, all you want to. The issue is, can you be cohesive together? Can you be a couple
Yes.
together? Can you work it out together?
Mhm. And when
That's
you
gonna be
see
the
those apparent breaks, what do
yeah.
you do to correct them?
That's it. And you got to find those answers. Okay, we know we got this problem. We know that, if I say something to you, you get angry. You don't want to talk no more. Well, we got to break that. We got to break that bondage of us not talking to each other.
Yes.
Tell me how you feel about what I said.
Mm.
And we should always start off with, look, I ain't trying to hurt your feelings, but this is what I have to tell you that we have to do to make our relationship stronger. And I
Mhm.
ain't just and the good thing, you can make that not make that person feel better, but let them know, hey, If I'm doing something wrong to you, let me know now. Let's
Yes.
talk about it. Tell me what I did to hurt you. Tell me
Mhm.
what I did that didn't make you feel right, that got you angry. Why you ain't talking to me for a couple of days? You know, there's
Come
something that
on.
made you angry. There's something that got to you that I want to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
And we should always, if you love that person and you really want to be with that person, you tell them, look, I love you.
Yes.
I don't want you mad at me. I don't want you angry with me. Forget
Mm-hmm.
if I said something that you didn't like, forgive me. Tell me what I said. And and if that person do tell you, say, well, you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't know that hurt your feelings. I didn't know I did that to you. I just wanted to let you know right here, right now, I will never do that again. I will never hurt you like that again.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see me and something is hurting you that I say or do, let me know before I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Remind me sometime. Hey, see, that's what I was talking about. Because that person might not even know that is a problem.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
How you want somebody to fix something if they don't know what the issue is? That's another part of breaking that, because breaking that oneness between each other. Because if you're not telling the person what's going, we go back to communication, talking to
Mm-hmm.
one another. How is it that person's supposed to just read your mind, knowing what hurts you and what don't hurt you, knowing what
Yeah.
bothers you and what doesn't bother you? How
Mm-hmm.
are they supposed to know? So that's my biggest thing I'm saying tonight to everybody, that if we're in a relationship and we are husband and wife, or we're getting ready to get married, you need to be sure in your heart that this is the man or this is the woman for you. Are they going to be in the trenches with you? Are they going to be there doing, when you fighting for your life? You know, are they going to be there when you going through, when you're sick? I done seen couples, the husband or the wife get cancer and the person just walk out and leave them.
All right. We got them back.
You know, I done seen marriages and seen people do that to one another.
Mm-hmm.
That person get cancer, get sick. Now I'm just gonna walk out and leave. Suppose it was you.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't want that person to just walk out and leave you. You don't want your husband to walk out. You don't want your wife to walk out and leave you.
Mm-hmm.
Act like nothing ever happened. So you have to know that no matter what, if you're gonna be my wife, if I'm not gonna be your husband, and and you're gonna be my husband, are you gonna be in there? Are you gonna be there in the trenches with me
Yes.
when things go good and when things go bad, whatever it is? Because when things going good, you ain't fighting no trenches. But I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about when things are going to hell and high water.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna be there to fight with me?
Yes.
I ain't talking about fight each other. I'm saying fight in the battle. Are
Mm-hmm.
you gonna be there to fight with us, with me, or are you gonna run off and run away, hide? What are you gonna do to strengthen this? That I know in my heart that no matter what happens, I can know that when the chips are down, you're gonna be right there for me.
Yes.
Me, I personally, I don't know about anybody else, like I said, but me personally, I know my wife will be there for me, and I'll be there for her because and we done
Mm-hmm.
been through situations where we had to be there for each other.
Yes.
We had to encourage each other, but that's what
Mm-hmm.
marriage is all about.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it's good, or even when it's bad, if they did something right and everything came out good, honey, great job, you know. But if something go bad, don't be like, well, see, come on, no, honey, I know that didn't happen your way, but guess what, honey, I know you lost your job today, but guess what, I'm here for you. Honey, I know you
Yes.
going through with a whole bunch of stuff on you, but what do you need me to do? How can I help?
Mm-hmm.
How can I be the help to you? What do you need from me?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. You're not breaking anything between y'all, but you're right there in the trenches with that person. No
Yeah.
matter what, you fighting for them. You're fighting for your marriage. You're fighting for your relationship. You're
Mm-hmm.
fighting for the one you said you love. I'm done.
And let
I'm
the
gonna
church say amen.
let the church say amen to that. Men, find a woman that's gonna fight in the trenches. Women, find a man that's gonna be there for you, fighting in the trenches. A
Yes.
man that can pray, a man that can give you a scripture, a
Mm-hmm.
man that can lay hands on you, a
Yeah.
woman that can lay hands on you, man. Find that woman who ain't gonna be like a wet paper bag and ain't got no kind of prayer
Or power.
or power. Cause Lord, I told God I needed a woman that could fight in the trenches with me. I need a woman that when we gotta pray, she gonna pray.
Mm-hmm.
And when I gotta pray, I'm gonna pray because that's what we
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do. That's
Yes.
our willingness.
Absolutely.
That's our commitment, not just to her
Mm-hmm.
or to me, but that's a commitment even to God.
Yes.
That's a commitment to Jesus Christ. He said,
Mm-hmm.
"Love your wife as I love the church."
Yes.
And God,
Yes.
Jesus was committed to the church. A
Mm-hmm.
husband should be committed to his wife.
Yes.
And your wife, you supposed to be committed to your husband. So after that, I rest my peace and turn it back over to my beautiful wife.
And we are in full agreement. When there is no communication, when there is no connection, then there will not be a strong foundation. And in order to avoid breaks in your marriage and your relationship, in order to avoid, you have to see, identify them, and then rectify them. What will it take for us to restore our relationship? What will it take for us to restore our marriage so we can get to that place that we are in harmony? We truly enjoyed you all tonight, and we thank you so much for joining our Unified Love Couples Ministry. This is the place where two hearts meet. Again, we thank you for your comments and your questions. Make sure you share this broadcast. We are here every other Thursday. And like I said, we do have a treat that's coming up this month. We will start to have monthly couples coming on, and that you'll see that it's not just our point of view, that we can have ministry and be happy. We can be married and obtain happiness. Because I know a lot of times it was God's intention and plan for us to live together in harmony and unity. So in doing that, we've got to make sure that we have ourselves in order, as we often try to correct the one that we are in a relationship with. So thank you so much for joining on tonight. We love you. And if you have not done so yet, please pick up our books from Amazon.com, The Love Cure for Relationship and Marriage, and our communication booklet, 21 Days to Success. It's a communication builder, talking made simple. Again, if you need any additional information, you can visit our website, unifiedlovecouplesministry.org. And if you need personal counseling, you can also schedule an appointment there. So again, thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much. Ministry is love ministry is our heart, is our passion. And we want couples to thrive together in unity as God's original plan. So thank you again. We love you and God bless you until we meet again.